Okay, good. I've remembered how to do that, and now we can actually start. So welcome to webinar number 2 of our 8-part series. Tonight, we're going to be talking a bit about Facebook business pages as well as answering some questions from last week, but I'll get into that in here in just a minute. Most of you, it looks like most of the names or a lot of the names on here for this week are on last week, so I won't spend a lot of time on who I am, but um, I'm Tom Burton. I'm a co-founder of 3 different companies: Social Marketing Noise, Santa Barbara SEO Services, and More in the Door. They're all digital marketing companies, but they have different markets. So More in the Door is for more small and mid-sized business companies, small and mid-sized companies. Social Marketing Noise is my coaching and training company, and Santa Barbara SEO Services is a company that I do work with larger customers and people who are trying to do more things with search. I've worked with a lot of different businesses, both large and small. You'll see some of the larger companies I've worked with on helping them get new customers and growing sales. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on my background because I covered that a bit in the last in the video number 1. But anyway, that's who I am, and great to see everybody here. So tonight's agenda is we're going to start off with a quick recap from webinar number 1 from last week. And then I had a whole bunch of questions come in this week from webinar number 1. And I also wanted to thank everybody for the kind words. I got a lot of good response back, and people really seemed to like it, and they had some really good questions. So thank you. That's always great to hear. But there were a few questions that I thought, were really good that I needed to take up here tonight. So I'm going to take up some of these questions from webinar number 1. Then we're going to get into your Facebook business page. And it's kind of a completely different topic than what we were into last week, but it's certainly related. And it's an area where we get tons of questions about, what I should be doing on Facebook and how to create a thriving Facebook business page and what a thriving Facebook business page even looks like. So we're going to get into that tonight, and hopefully I'll give you some tips and tricks on how to do that. And then we'll end off with questions and answers. And most of you have found the question box on the GoToWebinar. So again, if you have questions as we go along, feel free to put them in. I will try and answer the questions as we go along. If I don't, like I said, we'll get to them at the end, and hopefully we won't run too long here tonight on the stuff we want to cover here. Okay, so just a quick recap from week number 1, and I think it's just really important to keep reiterating what we mean by marketing. And the sole purpose of marketing, as we talked about, is to get more people to buy more of your product or service more often and for more money. That's everything that I'm going to be talking about over the next, 7 weeks, including this. So the next 7 sessions, and what we talked about last week is just all about this. It's all about how to get more people to buy more of your product or service more often and for more money. And I don't know any business owner who doesn't want that. If you don't, you're probably not going to be in business for too long. So marketing is something that is really part and parcel to any business, or at least this purpose of marketing, which is to get more people to buy your product and service and for more often and for more money. Now, we defined also last week what, at least this is my definition of digital marketing. And digital marketing is marketing, using the previous definition that we just talked about, that is carried out online using technology, the internet, mobile, and most importantly, metrics and data and analytics. To me, the internet was kind of an entrepreneur's dream because it allowed us to actually start to see what our marketing was doing and the results that we're getting and who we're reaching, and are we reaching the right people. And in the old days before the internet, the analytics were really not there. You couldn't tell really very well if you did an ad or a postcard campaign or a letter or direct, even phone calls, really the metrics that you were getting, were you reaching the right people, who was acting, and so on. Well, now the metrics are so good, and there's so many metrics available, you can find out exactly what you're doing and how well you're doing and make adjustments very, very quickly and really save your budget. So, digital marketing is the things I said here. It's marketing that's carried out online using the technology internet, mobile, and most importantly, metrics. Again, marketing being the definition that we just went through. Now, last week we talked about in detail, and if you haven't watched the replay from last week, you definitely want to do that. I'm going to leave it up a few more days. I was going to take it down today, but I've had so many people ask me if I could leave it up a few more days. I'm going to. And I'll put up the replay tomorrow from the one we're doing tonight. That will probably only stay up there a week, but number one will stay up there probably till the weekend or possibly through the weekend, and then it will come down. So if you haven't watched it, it's really probably good idea to go back and take a look at it. Or if there's things that you wanted to grab from that, please go and take a look at it again if you've already seen it. But what we talked about last week was the digital marketing funnel and the idea of taking traffic from all of these different online sources and then moving them into our own digital marketing funnel where we nurture and we build relationships with the people that we want to do business with the goal of getting them to decide, hey, I want to do business or I want to buy the product or service that is being promoted. Then we move them into a conversion zone where we answer any questions or we give them all the data that they need about our product or service, and then we move them into a paying customer. And this was the simplistic version of the digital marketing funnel. Now, we also talked about that most people don't just kind of nicely go through the funnel, just real nicely go from nurture to conversion and into a paying customer. Many of these prospects are going to drop out of your funnel. And they drop out for a lot of reasons. A lot of people believe that the reasons people drop out of your funnel is they're not interested. Well, that's very seldom the case. It's usually a million other things. It's as simple as they were distracted. It's maybe that they wanted to do some other research on your company, which I'm going to talk a bit about tonight. There could be a number of things that they want to do, and you'll probably do this yourselves when you go into a funnel, is you drop out, but it's not because of lack of interest. So our job is to continually make sure that we're bringing people back to the funnel when they drop out. And this is really the secret to a high conversion rate of a funnel. A funnel that has no follow-up might get a 1% conversion rate. A funnel with a good follow-up could be getting 20% or 30% conversion rates, mainly because of just the follow-up itself. So I guess I can't underestimate the importance of the follow-up. And if you have an email address in your nurture zone, then obviously that's a great way to follow up. If you don't, we can use retargeting ads and other things, and this will be things we'll get into in other weeks in a lot of detail of how you do that. But the bottom line is you want to bring people back to your nurture zone or back to your conversion zone and move them through the funnel and get them there. So again, there's three parts to a funnel. There's your traffic, which is over here on the left, and these are possible traffic sources. Then there's your nurture zone, which we gave some examples last week of landing pages and different examples of that. And then conversion zone, where we're converting them and then moving them into a customer, or potentially if we're not trying to get money online, but an appointment or getting them to talk to a salesperson or whatever we believe our conversion is. And again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot more time on this tonight because we went into this in lots and lots of detail last week. So if you want to go through it again, please go back and watch the replay in the video from last week. But what I wanted to do now is jump into some of the questions that I got last week related to this topic in the digital marketing funnel. And one of the first questions I got, several questions on was, well, okay, I get this, but, I do a lot of blogging and I have a blog on my website and I do blogging and all of that. Well, how does that relate to this marketing funnel? And what should I be continuing to blog, and how do these things tie together? And I thought it was a really great question, because a lot of what you hear when it comes to internet marketing is, oh, you have to blog and you have to create content and all of this stuff. And I wanted to make sure that it was clear the context of how that fits into what we're talking about here. So to understand that, we need to go back over to our traffic sources. Our traffic sources are places where we're going out to reach potentially qualified prospects and bring them into our funnel. So that could be through Google search, it could be through LinkedIn, it could be Facebook or Facebook ads, it could be YouTube, Twitter, Google Plus. The list goes on and on and on. There's a lot of places to find traffic. And I talked to you last week about traffic kind of being a commodity. In the same way I can go to the gas station and put gas in my car, I can do the same thing with traffic. I can go and pretty much buy traffic and get good prospects and get people into my funnel. Traffic is not really the problem. The problem or the challenge is making sure you're finding the right traffic that actually has a decent probability of converting. But as it relates to blogging, what you're doing with blogging or creating content on your website, your goal with that obviously is to get people to read and view your content. But your goal as it relates to marketing, and marketing being the definition that we talked about a couple minutes ago, about selling more of your product to more people and more often, is to build up your email list. So what a lot of people do when they blog, right, is they will have a little opt-in form on their blog that says, hey, do you want to get a alert whenever I post a new blog? Do you want to join my blog newsletter? Do you want to join my site? I'll give you, whatever the case may be. Those are things that are called opt-in forms that exist on blogs. And the goal of an opt-in form is to build up your email list. Now, what a lot of people don't know is, what do you do with your email list? Well, your email list that you've built from that purpose of getting emails of people that are opting in are an awesome traffic source to fuel your funnel, because these are people that have already opted in and have told you, hey, I'm interested in what you're talking about. I'm interested in your thought leadership. I'm interested in your expertise. I'm interested in what your company represents because I opted in to get your newsletter or your blog posts or whatever. Well, this becomes a great list to then actually promote to and move into your marketing funnel when it comes time to promote a specific product or service. So blogging, in my opinion, is about list building, right? The purpose of blogging is to build your email list. And if you can build that email list, you hear of people that have, they'll say the money is in the list, right? They've built up really good quality email lists. And if they launch a new funnel, they're almost guaranteed to make a ton of sales because they've built this, good audience and this good group of people that are behind them. So, but blogging by itself is not a tool to generate traffic to move into your marketing funnel, into your digital marketing funnel. It is a list building activity. So it's really important to understand the difference between a funnel and my goal of getting conversions and leads and a list building activity of what I'm doing for doing blogging. So I hope that answers some of the questions that people had about blogging. I think blogging and content is great. Again, you have to find the right traffic. A lot of people blog and it's kind of a ghost town of anybody who reads it. So that's a different story. But the purpose, again, is list building. It's not to bring people into your funnel. Okay, the next question I got a lot of is, well, what tools do you use to build a funnel? What software do I use? What tools do I use? How do I make all this happen? And I thought about the best way to answer this because it's not an easy answer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a little document that's kind of going to be a funnel, digital marketing funnel resource document or tools document. And I'm going to list out some of the different tools that are out there that you may want for building landing pages, for example, or tools for e-commerce, or tools for really anything I can think of. I'm going to put into this resource document. It'll probably be a couple of weeks before it's available because I'm going to put some time into it, but I'll send it to everybody once it's available. I think that's the easiest way to get into tools and specifics, and we'll get into some tools as well on some of the later sessions, but it's good to have kind of a cheat sheet or a resource sheet on, what are the best tools that are out there to kind of build out what you would want to do in your funnel. So I will do that. Okay, this was a good question I liked. It was, I'm a plumber and most of my leads come from emergencies. Do I need a funnel? Well, I assume by emergencies what he was referring to is that, someone has a clogged drain or they have a plumbing problem and they need a plumber immediately. And there are businesses, and maybe some of you have a business where your leads come from what I call a hungry audience or a hungry crowd. It's a group of people that already know that they need your product or service and they need it now. Those leads tend to come a lot from search, Google pay-per-click ads and things like that are good ways of finding those people. Like, for example, I have a client that's an insurance company, and they do liability insurance for contractors and tradesmen. And a lot of times these contractors need insurance, liability insurance immediately because they can't get paid unless they can show proof of liability. Well, they get a ton of leads through Google search and Google pay-per-click of what I call the hungry audience. These are people who just need something right now, and the nurture and the conversion process is very quick, and it needs to move them into a conversion quickly. However, like this insurance company that I work with, they do have a funnel. So even though we're getting a lot of leads from Google search and pay-per-click of a hungry audience, we've set it up that they do have a funnel where they very quickly get nurtured and then very quickly get moved into the conversion zone. Because the nurturing that they need for somebody who is a hungry audience is different than somebody who really doesn't know anything about what you're doing, maybe didn't even know about your product or service before they entered your funnel. It's a completely different message that's required. So yes, you would do a funnel. It would be a different type of funnel, and it would have a little bit of definitely have a different objective. It would need to move the person through very quickly. The conversion zone actually becomes even more important because the questions that they're going to want to know generally when they're, are price, availability, how fast, what's the risk. There's a lot of things like that, but there still is definitely some nurture that needs to go on to move people through to conversions and to do them that way. So we're going to talk about search, I think, in a couple of weeks. So I'll get into more detail on, search and leads that are best, your best leads that you would get from search, whether it's paid search or organic search. But a lot of those would still funnel into or go into the same funnel. And kind of related to that, somebody else asked is, does a funnel work for retail? And a funnel absolutely can work for retail. I've done funnels for hardware stores. I've done funnels for online and offline retail stores. There's a lot you can do with product-specific promotions. You can build funnels that attract people. For example, I call them birthday funnels, where they attract people that are having birthdays, and you move them through a nurture and conversion to get the birthday special. You can do it for bridal registry. There's all kinds of things you can do funnel-wise in the retail space, both online and offline. So I'm a big fan of funnels in the retail space in that area. Next question that came up is there more to marketing than just a funnel? What about reviews, etc.? So this brought up a really good point, and I actually created a slide for it. It was an area I wanted to go into last week, but I just didn't have time. And so it really kind of opens up a bigger picture on, what's involved with marketing more than just a funnel. So I have what I call a formula. I call it the digital marketing expansion formula. And there are 3 parts of the formula that really creates a really, really awesome marketing program. We talked about one of them last week, but I'm going to introduce the other 2. The first is thought leadership. So if you're going to do a really good job long-term of marketing online, you have to build some thought leadership with your potential prospects. And this goes back to what I was just talking about blogging. They need to know and start to build a relationship, not around your product or service, but around your thought leadership, so that they go, wow, this person really knows a lot about whatever, right? These guys know a lot about insurance. They know a lot about my business. They know a lot about marketing. They know a lot about PR. They know a lot about whatever. You want to build that thought leadership. And the way you're going to do that is with some of the things we just talked about, through blogging, through video content, through webinars, anything, right, that you're doing, which is building thought leadership. It's not necessarily lead generation. You're just building thought leadership, but you are potentially building your email list. The second part of the formula, when you add in what we've been talking about last week, is digital marketing funnels. Digital marketing funnels will work much smoother if you've got some thought leadership in place. Now, do you have to have thought leadership in place to have a successful digital marketing funnel? No. But if you really want the highest level of results that you can possibly get, then I recommend having thought leadership and a digital marketing funnel. The third part of the formula is what I call online reputation management. So, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. If you do these three things, thought leadership, build thought leadership, then you combine that with the digital marketing funnels like we talked about, and you look out for your online reputation, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, you will get way more leads, way more customers, and way more sales. And these three things, when they work together, start to create almost exponential results, because everything is working in concert. It's working in alignment. It's working, again, with that goal of that objective of marketing, which is to sell more of your product more often and for more money. Now, let's go back and talk about what I mean by online reputation management. So remember I said that, in a marketing funnel, you can have people that will drop out of your funnel. And you probably do this yourselves. It's very, very common. When somebody sees a product or a service or anything that a company is introducing or promoting, you'll tend to want to do your own, what I call due diligence or research. So you may leave the funnel or create a new tab on your browser or whatever, and then what you're going to likely do is Google the name of the company. So let's say I'm working with Acme Insurance, and I say, I really like what they're saying here, but I want to check them out. And what you'll do is you'll Google Acme Insurance, and what you'll get then is a kind of a what's called a search result or a branded search results of that company. So let me just jump over actually and show you an example. So let's see, I was doing this with a vet here in town. So San Roque Pet Hospital is a veterinarian here in Santa Barbara. So if I Google their page, what I see here is a lot of good things related to their company. I see over here they've got 39 Google reviews with almost a 5-star rating. I see that they're really, the entire first page here is them. They don't have competitors on here. I see they've got ratings in different places. I've got ratings in Yelp. I've got ratings in Yellow Pages. I'm looking at this and I'm going, if I'm, again, doing my due diligence on San Roque Pet Hospital, I'm really looking to see, wow, these guys are really doing well. And then I may click here and look at the Google reviews and scroll through them and see that what people are saying. And again, all of this is building my confidence in the company and what they're doing. Well, people often overlook the importance of online reputation management or their online reputation and how you go about managing that. And the good news is you can do things that will actually make sure that your business, even if it's not a local business, it's not just for local businesses, but for any business, shows up well when your prospect does research on it. And it's amazing how, and you probably do it as well. You probably, a lot of people say reviews and everything are how I make decisions. But a lack of reviews will also be a deterrent to making a decision. If you see that other people are looking at this and doing well and have confidence in it, then you'll tend to have confidence in it as well. So the idea is that you really want to work on your online reputation management, which is a long-winded answer to the question, which is, well, is the only thing I need to be doing is digital marketing funnels? No, you want to be thinking about all three of these areas, but online reputation management does not get you leads. Thought leadership does not get you leads. It can build your list, and it doesn't get you sales. Digital marketing funnels will get you leads and sales. However, you ideally want to have these three working in concert, and then you're going to get the most leads, the most customers, and the most sales that you can possibly get. And I know we're going to be talking about thought leadership. I will probably touch more on reputation management as we go on and some things you can do for that. If it's something you're interested in, let me know, and I'll try and weave it in. It's kind of a topic in and of itself. But anyway, the point is that these are the three pieces of the formula to really get maximum expansion. And let's see, I had one more question that I wanted to make sure I got to here, which was one of my favorites. Oh, yeah. So this was a question I got that was one of my favorite ones. He said, I think this actually was a she and Danielle. She said, I don't like to market. I think it is a bit slimy, and so rely on word of mouth to get new customers in my business. What should I be doing with a funnel? It's actually a really good question. I hear this all the time. We don't like marketing. Marketing is kind of slimy. I don't like to do sales. I don't want to pressure anybody. And I get it. I know that marketing has in the past been this idea of sort of, a used car salesman or kind of slimy or having to lie or having to do things that are, really not something you feel good about. That's not what marketing is. In fact, you're not going to get more customers, more sales, and all that stuff in this day and age by doing that, just for the reputation itself. You start to be slimy, you start to lie, you start to not deliver, you're going to get a bad online reputation, and you're really not going to go anywhere. So it's really not an option. Back in the old days, it was an option. It's not an option now. But when somebody gives me that question, it kind of raises the flag for me that says, what they're doing is what I call hope marketing. And hope marketing is not a good strategy. And what I mean by hope marketing is hoping that people are going to discover your business, or hoping that the economy picks up and people spend more money, or hoping that your business will show up on the search engines, or saying, hey, I have a great product. Of course people will buy it. I know they're going to do it. All of these things and more fall under the category of hope marketing. And waiting for, passively waiting to get word of mouth referrals. And again, there's nothing wrong with word of mouth referrals, but it falls, if you're just waiting for that to happen, it falls under hope marketing. And the fact is, if you're not doing some of the things that we just talked about, even if you are getting word of mouth referrals, they're not going to turn into paying customers. And I see that a lot with local businesses that I work with. They'll say, well, I get a lot of referrals and people are telling me that they're referring them, but they're not necessarily coming in and becoming clients or patients or customers. Well, the reason is because they're not doing other things from a marketing perspective to build that confidence. So an answer to your question is please, please, please do not rely on hope marketing as your strategy. More than ever, it's kind of a going out of business strategy, and it's really not going to work. Marketing, and I'm hoping over the next, if nothing else, I'm hoping that over the next period of time on these webinars, you can see that marketing is not slimy. It's not about lying. It's not about telling untruths. It's about building relationships. It's about building up your thought leadership, and then helping people really find and learn about what you're doing and your great products and services, but guiding them through the process. So hope marketing is not a good strategy. Okay, let's see. I think that is all of the questions from last week, or at least the ones that I thought were really worthy of going into. And please keep the questions coming because it's really helpful to know what you're looking at and what you're thinking about, and I'll do whatever I can to answer them. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go into the second part of really the main topic of today, which is Facebook business pages. And sometimes they're also called Facebook fan pages. And probably many of you, if not all of you, have a Facebook business page in your site or within your company. And I do want to answer one question here before I go into this, because I want to make sure it's not something that's sticking with somebody. A couple people have asked, can you give me a better example of what you mean by thought leadership, or define thought leadership again? So thought leadership basically means that you are establishing yourself as an expert or a leader. It's called a thought leader. In other words, your thoughts matter to people and what you talk about. So hopefully, for example, when I do these webinars and you attend these webinars, you're going to say, I think Tom kind of knows his stuff and he must have a good business because he must know what he's talking about. That would be establishing thought leadership, right? So when you're doing blogs and you're doing content and you're doing videos, those are things that are building confidence with your potential prospects. You're building relationships with your prospects by saying, so that people know that you know what you're doing and know what you're talking about, and you know their business and you know what they're up against. So all of that falls into the category of thought leadership. It's really building that expertise. And I'm sure you follow people all the time that are bloggers and people that you think are thought leaders in their respective areas. because you value and you have confidence in what they talk about. So hopefully that answers that. Okay, so back to the business page. So most of you probably have a business page or a fan page for your business. Now, a business page, as it is called, is operated by a business or organization. And when somebody makes a post on a business page, those posts are generally going to be related to the business in some way. So I pulled an example here. Probably most of you are familiar with Pete's Coffee and Tea, at least if you're in Southern California or in California. I don't know if they're all over the country, but you're probably familiar with them. And this is an example of their business page. Now, you can see here that they made a post here that they were talking about, looks like one of their new coffee drinks that they were releasing. So this was a post related to the business that are going on to the business page. Now, there's two goals. We're going to get into this a lot over the next 30 minutes of what you want your business page to do, or what are the goals related to kind of, what makes a successful business page and what doesn't. The first one most people know, which is to get what is called a like. Now, a like is basically somebody comes to your business page and they click on the like, or they like it through some other medium. And what that does is it links your business page to their Facebook personal page. So it's kind of a social network between the Facebook personal page, which if you're on Facebook personally, you're aware of, and the business page. You're saying, hey, I want to potentially see posts and information from this business page to show up on my personal page. That's really what you're saying when you like the page. It establishes the relationship or the network between that person and the business page. So, the idea obviously would be to get as many different people connected to you as possible on your business page and to put it on to you, and therefore you have numbers. However, there's a second goal, which is even more important now. We're going to get into this in a lot of detail, which is what Facebook calls engagement. So when you post on your Facebook page, the goal is that on that post, you want people commenting on that post, sharing that post, and liking that post. And those three things together, Facebook calls engagement. And engagement to Facebook in a lot of ways is more important than likes, as I'm going to explain here in just a minute. A third thing, or another thing to know about your business page, is that few people are going to come to your business page. There's this misnomer, I believe, that people are going to come to your business page every day and check out like a newspaper or whatever, what you're doing. And it doesn't happen. They may come once or twice and they may like their page, but the only way you're going to get visibility of what you're posting on your business page is if it shows up on the people's personal news feed who actually like your page. So the goal here is to get your posts to show up on as many different personal news feeds as possible. That's the only way that you're going to get visibility of your posts. So back in the old days, 3 or 4 years ago, if you had, let's say, 1,000 likes on your Facebook page and you posted something, probably close to all 1,000 of those people would see that post show up on their first personal page. So it was great for businesses and marketers, right? It was just a great and easy way to reach the people that had attached themselves to your page. Now, probably, and it drops all the time. The last I checked, it's probably about 3%. So about 3% of the people now that like your page will by default see your post when you post it on your Facebook page. And depending upon the type of post, it may even be less than that, but let's just call it 3%. So if you had 1,000 people that liked your page and you made a post on your page, by default, about 30 people will see that post, which isn't very many. And this is a complaint we get from people all the time. Well, I'm posting on my Facebook page and I've got a lot of likes, but nobody seems to be seeing it. I'm not reaching a lot of people. Well, the reason you're not reaching a lot of people is because that post is not getting engagement. That post is not getting likes, comments, and shares. If that post starts to get engagement, what you'll start to see is the percentage of people that you're reaching go up and up and up considerably. And what we're going to talk about tonight is how you go about getting likes, comments, and shares, and how you set up your Facebook page to maximize getting likes, comments, and shares so that your posts can go to as many people as possible. Now, the reason Facebook has been changing this is a couple of things. Well, the main reason is they want you to pay. So Facebook, well, it's two things. They want you to take more responsibility for your posts and post better content that gets engagement, but they also see this as an opportunity for you to call what's boosting your post and get people to pay to see your post. And so Facebook makes money on how it's going to be seen with the people that like your page. But I'm okay with boosting posts, but I tend to want to see if I can get some what's called organic engagement and organic reach by people naturally commenting and engaging on the post before I boost it. In fact, I want to see some engagement first, and then I'll look at boosting the post, but we'll get into that here in just a second. So again, the goal here of your business page is to get your posts on as many different personal pages as possible. And the only way that's going to happen without paying is to make sure that you're getting lots of engagement. There's other reasons to get lots of engagement as well, but that's the goal of what you're doing with your Facebook business page. Likes by itself is not going to do it. So you may say, okay, but why does this matter? Why would I want a thriving? Why do I want to go through all this effort? Well, it kind of ties into some of the things. It actually ties into two of the areas that we talked about earlier on the digital, all three of the areas actually we talked about when we talked about the digital marketing expansion formula. And we were talking about thought leadership and digital marketing funnels and online reputation. The first thing is if you do an ad in Facebook, your ad is attached to your Facebook page. And when the ad comes out, at the top of the ad, it'll show the link to your actual Facebook page. And a lot of people, just like I talked about on kind of the due diligence that they'll do, will not click on the ad at first, but they'll click on and they'll go to your Facebook page and they'll say, okay, well, what's going on this person's Facebook page? Does there seem to be a lot of activity? Is there a lot of likes? If it is, then it makes you look popular. It makes you look important. If it's dead and there's not much going on there, then that to a degree is going to be kind of a strike against you as it relates to your online reputation. So it's just something that you want to do because people are going to go there when you're promoting on Facebook. And so you want to, make yourself look as good as possible. If you can really start to build up a good, thriving fan page, Facebook business page, your promotions, if you're doing paid promotions on Facebook, they'll be cheaper in the long run. So if you do ads and you target people that are already likes on your page, you pay about half as much as you would for people who are not on your page. Also, if you build up a page, is you can start to drive prospects into your funnel from your page once it's thriving. You really need to get a thriving page going before you're going to really be able to use that as a valid traffic source into your funnel. But if you do, then you can organically drive people into your funnel from your page once it's actually thriving. So again, both of these things kind of end up with being, you're going to spend less money in doing that. And then this kind of relates to number one is social proof. And people will, again, look at your page and say, well, if other people are liking your page and you've got a lot of engagement and you've got a lot of things going on, then this page must be important. The company associated with this page must be important. They must be popular. All of these things lead to what's called social proof. So it's kind of related to, again, that online reputation. Because online reputation, yes, it consists of reviews and other things, but people look at things all the time to help make a judgment as to whether or not they're going to do business. And I'm sure you do this when you're looking for things. So all of these are good reasons to create a thriving Facebook business page. It's going to help all of those three areas. It's going to help your thought leadership. It's going to help your funnels once you really get it going, and it's going to help your online reputation. Now, let me go ahead and I'm going to show you how to create a thriving business page. But before I do that, I'm going to go over and show you an example of a thriving business page that we've created, and then some of the characteristics of that, and then we'll go into actually how you can do that for yourself. So I'm actually here on a page that my wife created a couple of months ago, and it's a business page or a fan page related to big cats. Now, your first thing you're going to say is, well, wait a minute, this isn't related to a business. And just hold your question on that because I'm going to talk about how this could relate to a business. It wasn't created for a business, but it very well could be related to a business and probably will be related to a business here before too long. But what I want you to look at here is what we mean by thriving. And the things I'm going to show you to do to create a thriving fan business page is exactly what we did here to get this to be a thriving Facebook business page. Now, like I said, this business page has been around maybe 2 months. I think it started in June, so July, August, I don't know, 2.5 months maybe. It's got over 14,000 likes, and that's great. But what's more important here is you'll see when I start scrolling through these posts, there's a lot of engagement. So this post, for example, has 295 likes, 55 shares, and a few comments, and it reached 3,000 people. Okay, so that reached 3,000 people out of 14. So that reached about 20% of the list. This one here had 533 likes, 82 shares, and has reached 5,000 people. Now this one was only posted, as you can see, about 4 hours ago. So this will probably tend to grow after that. But that's a lot of engagement in 4 hours. Now if I go down here even farther, here's one that had almost 750 likes, 159 shares, and 7 comments, and this reached 8,000 people. So this is well over half the people on the list. And I think this one even did better. Yeah, this one had 1,000 likes, 295 shares, 20 comments, and has reached 12,000 people. So this has almost reached, and we didn't pay for this. None of this was paid. This almost reached everybody that was on the list. And so the question is, well, how do I do this? And more importantly, how do I do this for a business? And that's what I want to kind of take you through, the steps of doing that. And then I'm going to show you some tools you can use to help really make this happen. And it doesn't have to be a lot of work. I mean, this was not, there's not hours of work that's going into this. It's just a matter of doing things in the right way. And again, I'll come back to some of the things on the business side of it here in just a minute. But let's go back now to the PowerPoint, and then let's talk about how we did this. So what we did this for, actually, when we first created it is there was a long story, but there was a business that we were talking to that does travel and safaris and things like that in Africa. And they wanted a way to get more leads from people in the US and in other parts of South Africa that would come and take their tours and come and take their and learn about their business and what they did. And you know, they had a Facebook business page that talked a lot about their business and the tours and what they did, but it really wasn't doing very well. And the reason is because honestly, people don't care about your business. They don't care about, you know, what you do. What they care about is what you can do for them and how you relate to them and things that are important to them. So one of the things that this company, this tour company, this safari company, they really specialized in trying to do safaris where you saw big cats. So you saw lions and cheetahs and leopards and things like that. And so what we did is we said, okay, let's see if we can create a site, a thriving business page around big cats, and then we would use the people that came to that business page as potential traffic that would be people that possibly would be interested in going to a safari and seeing big cats in real life, right? And that's how that page actually came about. Now, we have not spotlighted on the page that's associated with a safari company or anything like that, but we certainly could have. They could have said, you know, this page was sponsored by the safari company and whatever. And again, you can do that as well, but we're going to talk about that here in a second. The first thing, though, that you want to do is you want to say, okay, when you're building a page, you want to be able to identify who exactly you want to target with that page. Who do you want to reach? This is also true when you're promoting with Facebook ads. So the way that you do that is there's a tool in Facebook called Audience Insights, and you just go into Ad Manager, and you can go in here and you can click Audience Insights, and what it does is going to bring you to a page that looks like this. And what you do is what you can do in here is go in and start kind of working out your ideal audience based upon who it is that you want to target. So let's say, for example, you're a dentist and you're in the Chicago area, and you want to reach new patients that are in the Chicago area. And again, it doesn't have to be local. It could be local or in the United States or whatever. And you know that you want people, well, we're just going to leave it at 18 for the moment. And let's say, I think we used this example last week, that you want to reach people that have expressed interest in teeth whitening. So what you can do is you can go in here and you can say, tell me or show me the characteristics of all the people that are on Facebook that have expressed interest in teeth whitening or teeth bleaching. And what you can do is go in here now and see the demographics of those people. Well, what this tells me is that 94% of the people that have expressed interest in teeth whitening and teeth bleaching are women, and they're between the ages, well, predominantly of 18 and 24, but between 18 and 34. So therefore, my ideal audience that I'd like to create, if I'm in the teeth whitening business in Chicago, is I want to create a page of people that are women that are between 18 and 34, right? It tells me exactly who I should be looking for. It also gives me a lot of other data that I may be interested in, are their relationship status, their education level. It even talks about their household income. You can find all kinds of data on here about the demographic that you want to match. And that's what we did with the big cats. So we went and said, okay, show me all the people that are interested in big cats. Where are they located? What are some of the things? What are their demographics? Because we want to go out and reach those people that have expressed an interest in big cats. We also wanted to reach people that had a decent income, that would be likely to take a trip to Africa, all those types of things. So we looked at all of that to pinpoint who the audience would actually be. So this is a tool you can use to really start to pinpoint who you want to reach in Facebook. Now, once you've done that, what you want to work out then is that main topic that you want to build your page around. So let's say, again, I'm a dentist and I want to attract people that are interested in teeth whitening or maybe even just cosmetic dentistry in general, right? I want to reach people that would be interested in that or find something interesting with that. But what I'm not going to do is start promoting my practice or make my topic my practice. I'm not going to start promoting and talking about my services because people don't care about that, especially at this level. They don't know who you are, that you haven't nurtured them. This isn't a funnel. But there are a lot of people that are interested and like to see pretty smiles. So maybe my page would be a page that would talk about pretty smiles or how teeth can really, how the teeth and your smile and your teeth and this and how they look can align towards, your overall beauty and your overall look, and how that can possibly help you get a job and how that could help you get in a relationship or whatever the case may be, right, would be the main topic that I want to talk about on that business page. In the same way, we didn't talk about taking safaris on the big cat page. We talked about big cats on the big cat page. So what you want to do is work out your main topic that you think aligns to your business that people would be interested in. I'll give you another example. I have a client who is a holistic vet, and she does a lot of supplements and vets for animals that are in like agility contests and competitions and so on. So she did her Facebook page all around active pets. And all it is pictures of pets being active, some of them in competition, some of them jumping for frisbees on the beach, some of them for whatever, just being active. And all they are is posts and pictures and videos of active pets. And then on the site, she says, hey, this is sponsored by Active Pet Health, but the site itself is all about active pets. So you want to work out, and it requires some creativity. I realize that. It requires some thought. But, it's something that, in fact, this is something that we can even talk about on the coaching call that we're going to do with, I want to do with each of you. I can help you brainstorm what could be your main topic for your business, but brainstorm within the people within your business yourself. It's that bright idea that's going to make a big difference. Then what you're going to do is once you have that, then you set up your page, and then you just start identifying photo or video posts that are related to your main topic. So again, the example I just said of active pets, she just found a bunch of pictures and videos and things like that of really active and athletic pets. And people love that stuff. And people engage with it. You know, you want something that people are going to like, comment, and share. It's okay to use other people's photos. You can go and use other people's photos on Facebook. If they're, you know, from like National Geographic or somewhere, I always make sure that you give a credit to it. Hey, great photo from National Geographic. Or if there is a credit on there or whatever, certainly do that. But generally, people are going to want their photos and their other things shared and promoted through your Facebook. There's nothing really wrong with doing that. I wouldn't use them on your website. I wouldn't use them in your ads, but it's okay to use other people's photos as a way to create engagement and build, and even videos around that. But you can also create your own. You can buy your photos. You can be really anything that you want to do. And really just all you need to do is post like that, right? If you look at the pictures here, you know, my wife puts up a picture and then a one-liner basically. A picture and a one-liner or two. People don't like to read, so you know you can have a paragraph if you want to, but it doesn't need to be a lot. It's just something where people are going to say, going, "Oh wow, I love this," and then they're going to like, comment, or share. And that engagement, as soon as you start to see that engagement kick up, your page is going to start to thrive and it's going to start to grow around what it is that you're actually talking about. Then once you've kind of started, you know, you've got some posts lined up, some video posts, what you want to do is run a paid promotion to get likes. And what you can do in Facebook, let me just go back here again. We'll go to the audience insights. And let's say, for example, here I said, okay, I know that my target audience for teeth whitening and teeth cleaning is between the ages of 18 and 34. So I'm going to make that 18 and 34 here, and that's who I'm going to go after. Oh, and I'm only going to go after women because that's the largest percentage. So I've now gone through and kind of decided what I want to target here. What you do then is you go into here and you create an ad. And what you're going to do is create a special ad that is designed to get likes to your page. And it's really called the one right here, which is called Promote Your Page. So what it will ask you to do is when you click that, it'll ask you to, you know, put in your Facebook page. And then what will happen is that ads will be run to your target audience that will say basically, and you can set up the picture you want to put in there and whatever. Hey, are you interested in, you know, how to have a prettier smile and whiter teeth or whatever? Like our page for tips and tricks. That's all you've got to do. All you're trying to do is reach that target audience and get them to like your page. And that's exactly what we did with the Big Cats page when we got started. We ran a like campaign for about 2 months, and that generated about 8,000 or 9,000 of these likes, and then it just started to happen on its own. You don't need to do it for that long. You know, probably if you're in a more local area, you wouldn't run it for that long. But again, a $5 per day ad, run it and start getting those target audience people coming to your page. When they come to your page, then they'll start engaging on your posts. When they start engaging on your posts, what you're going to start to see is the overall engagement picking up, and you're going to get a lot of activity around that. So that's the next step, is to get likes from your target audience. Then what you want to do is monitor posts from your page insights page. So let me go back. And I know I'm covering a lot here, but you know, please go back and watch the replay and look at this. I mean, this isn't really that hard to do once you've kind of got the steps down. And Facebook makes it easy for you by giving you all these metrics and analytics. Because once you've started posting, there's a little thing on here called Insights that you can look at as the administrator of a page. And what it will do is it will tell you how well, which posts are doing the best. So let me go down here and I'm going to say see all posts. And what it shows here, right, is the engagement that I received on each of these posts and the overall reach. And you can see here, there's a lot of variance. Like this one here had 2,000 likes and lots of engagement and reached 20,000 people. Again, you see none of this was paid. This was all organic on here. Now, some of these, though, didn't do so well. So this one had much less engagement and got much less reach. And what we try and do on this is we'll start to look through here and we'll say, all right, what, in a given week, which post did the best? Now, when you're just getting started, you're obviously not going to have this level of engagement and this level of reach, but it's all relative. So you see, this post tended to do well. So what you'll tend to want to look at is a couple of things. One is when you posted it, because time will sometimes matter a lot. Will matter when you get engagement is when you post. So we tend to find we get the most engagement earlier in the morning. So we tend to post if we can earlier in the morning. But you can also start to see which posts tend to do the best. Is there a certain topic? Is there a certain type of picture? Is there a certain type of thing that tends to do better from one to the next? And the reason you want to do that is because then you'll want to do more of those. And you'll want to do less of the ones that you had going forward. If I would look back over the last 3 months, and I guess I can do that here. Let's go back and look at all of our posts. Right, you'll see some, even more back here. Here is when we got 36,000 actual reach. I mean, that's 3 times the size of our site. But some of them, all of these are pretty good because we really kind of gotten the process down. But if you were to go back into June, you would have seen posts that we made that got maybe 300, 400 reach. And they just weren't very good. They weren't good pictures. They weren't good posts. People didn't care about them. So, we've learned from that and we keep building it up. And as a result, our average reach keeps growing and growing and growing. And again, we keep getting all of these different organic reach just because people are, they get, and Facebook rewards you for this. You're going to get, it's going to automatically show it to more people. It's going to show what you're doing is, people like it. So Facebook rewards you for that. If you're not getting that engagement, again, likes, comments, and shares, then Facebook kind of penalizes you and doesn't show it to as many people. So you want to monitor your posts from the page insights and look and see which ones are doing well, which ones are not, which time is doing better than others, and then you make adjustments from there. Okay, then what you do, there's only 2 more steps here, is you ask people that are already fans of your page to select what's called the See First option. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a page here that I'm not the administrator of. This is a LA Lakers page, and I've liked the page, but what it allows me to do is if I roll over the like, I can click on See First. And a lot of people don't know about this. And what this is this saying that if I did this, any post that the Lakers put on their page, I would see first automatically in my personal newsfeed. And if you get people to see your posts first when they come into Facebook, you're obviously going to get a lot more engagement. So once we got the Big Cat site going, we asked the people on there to actually go and say, hey, you want to get, be the first to see everything that's going on the Big Cat site? Go here and click this See First and make the Big Cats page show up first on your personal page. That by itself is going to get you way more engagement and way more reach and way more visibility. In fact, that by itself has probably increased our reach 50% over the last month or 2, is getting people to have us see at the top, top of mind and top of their list. Now, you can't do it right away because you got to have enough going and enough people going before you're asking them to put you at the top of the list. But it's something that you should and could do once you get the page rolling and in place. And then lastly is I like to boost posts in some cases that are doing really well. So I would go back to what we were looking at over here when we were looking at the actual posts, and I would potentially take some posts that we know are already doing well and are already popular, and I may boost that even more. And why would I do that? Because I already know it's popular. So if I boost it, I'm probably going to get even more mileage and get more people and more engagement because I know it's popular. I know it's something that people want to see. You don't want to boost something. Like I'm not going to boost this post that didn't get very much engagement because it's proven that it wasn't very popular for whatever reason. So what you want to do is you want to boost your posts that are potentially boost your posts that are getting the most engagement And it really starts to kind of create this exponential effect. You'll get more people, you'll get more engagement, and you'll get more thriving on the page as it goes forward. And if you just follow these 7 steps, okay, and I understand that this first one or the second one, the main topic, might be, oh my God, what am I going to do here? But I guarantee you can come up with something that people are going to care about. Again, they don't care about your business. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just not what people care about, and it's not what they create engagement around on Facebook. What people care about are things that are interesting to them and that they care about. So therefore, your topic has to represent what it is they care about, not represent their business. So people care about big cats. That's why we made the topic about big cats. We didn't make it about a travel company because they didn't care about the travel company. They care about big cats. So hopefully that makes sense. And you can see how you could go about creating a thriving Facebook business page. And not many people know how to do this well. And you can really, especially if you're a local business and you really start to do this well, it will do great for establishing your thought leadership. It'll do great for helping your online reputation. You'll start to show up, your page will show up high in search results for things. It's got to win all the way around. So it's worth it in trying to invest in putting those things into place. Okay, so, boy, I know that was a lot in a short period of time, but let me see if I've got any questions here that I haven't covered. Yeah, it's okay, Jerry, to put it doesn't really matter what the title of your page is. So even if you have a business page for your business and the business page is, label the name of your business, it's okay. You don't necessarily need to change that. What I would probably look at doing is changing the cover photo to align towards whatever it is that your main topic is. And I would probably change your about. This is just really slow sometimes here on Facebook. I would probably change my about possibly to represent more of the main topic of what I'm talking about versus saying, hey, I'm just here to talk about my business or to go into things about my business. But no, if you've already got a page and you've already got it, branded, if you will, around your company, that's fine. But again, I would make it clear that the topic of your page is the topic that you're going through and not just information about your business and putting things on your business. Let's see, is there any other questions here? No, we covered that, got that. Okay, good. I think we've covered most of the questions. All right, so that's what we wanted to talk about this week. So next week, we're going to kind of go back to the funnel a bit, and we're going to talk about how to get prospects to buy from you online. And even if you sell services or you're a business-to-business company, or it's supposed to say high ticket, not ticket items, or high ticket items, there's a real advantage if you can figure out and work out a way for somebody to actually buy something from you online. In fact, it is the ultimate lead, even if you're selling something larger, to get somebody to buy something online. And I'm going to show you, it really kind of relates to a large degree your conversion zone and your nurture zone and your funnel. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can do that and why it matters, how it's really going to help your conversion and how it's going to get, again, get more business in the door. We're going to talk about, how you use upsells or bonus offers when people do convert and how to use those properly and how to use them in a way that, again, doesn't come off slimy or cheesy or whatever. And then we're going to get a more good examples as well. So we're going to go back to the funnel next week, and we're going to dig into that a little bit more about, again, how you could actually get somebody to convert and, ideally even convert, not just make an appointment request, but actually convert and buy something from you, even if it's a small item, and that can turn into a much, much, much better lead and bigger lead. So we'll get into some examples on that as well. Okay, well, I ran out of time again, but we're not so bad over time. If you haven't taken advantage of your coaching call yet, or you haven't signed up for it, again, this is going to be going on throughout the entire 8 weeks. So if you think, I've had a number of people say, hey, I'm not ready for it yet. I want to get into the sessions a little bit more. That's fine, but go ahead and make your appointment. If you go here, you can schedule all the way out as long as you want to. But please get your call. Like I said, I'm happy to talk to you about your business page or your offerings or anything that is going to help you and help you get off the ground faster. So take advantage of that. Again, you just go to this link here and it will bring up a calendar. It was kind of messing up last week. I kind of had some double booking, but I think I've got that worked out as well. You can also email me if you have questions, whatever the case may be. It's been great to get emails this week. It's great to hear people. It's great to hear the results and the wins. So I'm always interested in that as well. Okay, so is there any other questions that we haven't answered yet? No, it doesn't look like it. I hope this was helpful. Again, I know some of you are on the East Coast and other parts of the country. I appreciate you staying up late. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see everybody again on next Tuesday night at the same time. Take care.